So let's talk about something that's maybe misogynist. I don't really know. But here is my firm stance on this. And this has been reflected to me. This has been presented to me for so many years, during so many instances, that this is really a pattern that I can't deny or won't deny. Here is what I'm getting at. Women are more susceptible to emotional arguments than men are. Now, hear me out. Both sexes, both men and women, both I and a woman react emotionally to any sort of triggering point to any sort of selling points that's really, really triggering. Anybody who says that they can't feel emotions, they're lying. Everyone feels emotions, me included. However, there are different ways to getting to those emotions. Now, here's an example. Actually, an example that Andrew Tate gave at a podcast, which I liked a lot because it rings so true. It's very, very generalizing, by the way. And it might not apply for everyone every time in every instance. But by and large, it is directionally correct. Now, hear me out. When the COVID lockdowns happened, the arguments for the lockdowns were, we need to protect the elderly. This virus is dangerous. The elderly could die. Those who are sick and prone can die. So that's why we all need to make a collective effort and isolate ourselves to better take care of our elderly and sick. Now, that argument is 100% emotional, and it works best on women, not so much on men, because us men are more concerned with facts, numbers, statistics, etc. And so, if you want to convince me to lock myself down because there is a dangerous virus outside, first and foremost, I would need to know a statistic about how many people that virus will kill. If it kills everyone around it, that's fine. If I also know that this will save the economy, it will boost our economy, and it will make every sort of business profit even more, then you're damn sure I will isolate and I will lock myself down if I know that to be a fact. But that didn't happen. Instead, the inverse happened. I mean, there are so many cases of businesses going bankrupt, having to shut down because of the lockdowns, because people couldn't go out and eat. People were afraid to go out, and the restaurants and the other hospitality businesses had to enforce these strict requirements, make people wear masks and all that kind of crap, social distancing, etc., etc. Now that works well if you're selling the emotional argument that we need to take care of our elderly and sick, which largely women are more susceptible to than men. That's just a biological fact. It's the same thing with immigration. Let's take another hot red topic. COVID is one topic, immigration is another, right? People get very, very emotional when they're talking about immigration. And so the emotional argument with respect to immigration is, oh, look at these poor children. Oh, look at these poor women. Oh, look at these poor families who are fleeing the war. We have to take care of them. We need to take them into our warmth. We need to provide for them. We need to protect for them. That's 100%, well, not 100%, but that's very, very emotional. And a lot of women react very, very emotionally to that argument. Us men, on the other hand, not so much, because we prefer looking at the facts and the numbers and the statistics. Such as, will the immigration boost our economy? Will these immigrants work and contribute to society? Will the crime go down? Will people make more money? Will I make more money? Will I be safer? But that's what you need to convince us of. And I'm going to do my best, in fact, henceforth, and for all conceivable future, I'm going to do my best to be apolitical no matter what, because I'm just so sick and tired of everything that has to do with politics. Most people are really in the center and have a basic understanding of what needs to be done and what shouldn't be done. And there's the far left, there's the far right, there are extremists on either side, and I don't want to associate with either one of them. The woke right is as bad as the woke left. Believe me, because there's a woke right. I mean, I'm being spoon-fed the woke right every single day on X. Because, according to my X feed, the world's going under. the world's ending tomorrow because there's wars all over the place, and societies are collapsing, and the state is surveilling your every breath. That's how bad it is. And on the far left, the world is collapsing due to climate change and because men are such horrible creatures and blah blah blah, all that kind of crap. Anyway, not going to go into that. However, these arguments are very, very emotional because a number, a statistic, a fact that will make me believe in your selling point will emotionally affect me. The same way that a dying child or a dying elder or people or women and men, but mostly women and children fleeing war will emotionally affect a larger degree of women. That's just a fact. So, call it misogyny or not, I call it biological nature. Work on finding the emotion and persuade people to act accordingly to how and what you want to sell them. If you want to learn more about sales and so on, then get subscribed to my about persuasion in sales and business, then get subscribed to my email list. The link to do so is in the episode description wherever you're watching and or listening to this, and I'll see you there.